Good evening, Liberty University, English class 2019. My name is Joel Leviton, and I'm going to explain why I feel that I should be hired as a sitting researcher as a member of Congress. For me, as a history major, there's probably nothing more important to me than to make sure that I keep history alive. It is so imperative that for me all the reading that I do and that I've done and that I will continue to do in order to enrich my knowledge of the history, um, for me, I feel that I should be hired as a sitting member of Congress as a researcher, because I truly understand just how important it is to make sure that we never forget the past. That, I myself can take the past and bring it really, truly, bring it to life. And it is just, there are so many events in the past that we cannot forget. And I should be hired as a researcher for a sitting member of Congress, because for me, I would be representing my congressman, and so when my congressman has any questions for me about the history, I can be able to answer those questions. So so the general public will know exactly what happened in that certain event. For me, it'd be a great honor to be a sitting member, researcher, and sitting member of Congress, because it would truly allow me to be able to do my job and to do what I truly love to do, which is history. And for me, it's just history is such a part of my life, and it's always been that way. I want to be the one that, like I said, I want to be the one that represents the congressman um, or congresswoman, so that way, I can be the eyes and ears of that congressman. And so when that congressman has questions, I can explain to the public, why why it's so important to remember a certain event from the past. And as historians, we have to take the knowledge that we have learned, all through school, and the researching and the reading that we've done, um, that we can really just, make sure that things of the past just don't disappear. And as a researcher for a sitting member of Congress, I believe that I would be able to do my job at 100% capacity, and I think I would be the best one for the job. History, like I said, history is such a big part of my life. It brings joy to me to be able to read about the history, to be able to read about World War II and Pearl Harbor, and to just to be able to know what exactly happened in the past. And it's just so extremely important for the general public to be aware of exactly what happened in the past. And as historical, for the same member of Congress, that would really allow me the opportunity to represent the American people. And that's how I would look at it. I'd look at it as I'm representing the American people. I'm representing history of the United States of America, and whether it's World War II or whether it's colonial days or Vietnam, 9/11. For me, I will have that knowledge base and that experience to be able to tell the general public the story of the history, the story of mankind, the significance of each and every event in the past. And no matter how complex the past may seem, as a historian, it's really our job to do that. And for me, I'd be great. I think I'd be excellent being a historical researcher on a city member Congress. For the fact that I would have that knowledge base, and I would be able to really, like I said, be able to represent the American people and represent the Congress. So that way, it's factual. As a historical historian, I would have that knowledge base to be able to make sure that all my facts are correct, that I know all my primary sources, and my secondary sources, and it's so important to make sure that the facts of history are correct, because it's us as historians, we are the ones that are, like I said, we are representing. And if we don't know what's factual and what's fiction, then we're not going to be able to represent the American people the correct way that we should. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to represent the American people, represent my congressman. I want to be able to take the past and bring it to life. And no matter what historical question that my congressman might ask me, I feel that I have that knowledge base to be able to be accurate and to be able to pinpoint, exactly what started the event in the past, and how the significance it is of the future. And I believe that I would truly represent my congressman fully to my fullest extent. I would put all my heart into it, all my soul. And for me, God is with me, and God is watching over me. And I believe that with the Holy Spirit and the gospel, that it will truly lead me into knowing, into being able to know the exact details, and to be able to maintain and um, keep that information in my head. And it just would truly be a great honor to be able to be a historian on a city member of Congress. Um, it's so important for us to take the word of Jesus and take the gospel and apply it to history. And we have to look at it, world history, as a Christian history. And it's our job to really, like I said, it's our job to enrich the American people, in the general public, so they know, what happened in the past, and nothing ever gets forgotten. And as Christians, we have to carry the gospel and carry the word, and so everybody, so the general public knows what happened in the past, and that we can spread that word, that gospel, and show the American people history, from a Christian historical worldview point, and how that applies to us as Christians, and that history in the future will be so much more, be so much more detailed. And as historians, like I said, it's our job. It's our job to keep the history alive, so that we will never forget those terrible events that occurred, so we don't forget the events that change the course of the future. And for me, being a researcher and a sitting member of Congress, sitting next to my congressman and representing him, especially as a Christian, representing him is something that just I truly will I will never forget if I'm hired as a historian, as a city member, as the Congress. Um, so I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope everyone has a great night, um, and just realize how important it is for us as historians to um, to keep that history alive and keep the American people enriched and full of knowledge. Um, so that we don't ever forget the important events of the past that happened, that, as I said, really changed the course of the future. And history will continue to be a major part of our lives, and it will always be there. And as historians, we have to make sure that it never goes away, and that people remember where we came from, our traditions and our cultures, and just how important it is to be a historian. Thank you. You guys have a great night. Have a blessed night and a blessed weekend. Good night.